Welcome to City News Live at 11. I'm Nima Rajan, and we begin tonight with devastating news from northeastern BC. 10 people are dead, including the suspect in what's believed to be a school shooting in the community of Tumbler Ridge, BC. Our Cecilia Hua joins us in studio to tell us what we know so far. Now, Cecilia, absolutely devastating news tonight. What do we know about what happened and the local police response?
Yeah, Nima, this is one of the biggest tragedies that our province, our country, and certainly the rural town of Tumbler Ridge has ever seen. 10 people are now confirmed dead in this mass shooting, including the suspect. Now, this all began around 1:20 p.m. when RCMP received a report of an active shooter situation at Tumbler Ridge Secondary School. An emergency alert was sent to local residents, telling them to shelter in place and lock their doors. When police entered the school, and we were told they were there within minutes, they found multiple victims. 6 were deceased, and the suspect was also found dead with a self-inflicted injury. 2 victims were airlifted to hospital with serious injuries, and a third died on the way to hospital. At the same time, police responded to a second location believed to be connected to this mass shooting, a residential home where they found 2 more deceased victims. The active shooter threat was lifted at 5:45 p.m. The remaining students and staff at the school were safely evacuated, and police do not believe there is any further risk to the public.
So we have 2 scenes. We have the school, and then we have found 2 other persons deceased at a residence in Tumbler Ridge that we're trying to determine the connection to this event. We believe they're connected, but we're not in a position to provide that definitively right now at this time, and what that connection may or may not be. We're still triaging other victims, and I don't have updates on whether that number could rise. The scene was very dramatic, and there were multiple victims that are still being cared for.
And Cecilia, I'm sure the community is still reeling from this tragedy. What do we know so far about how local residents are handling everything?
Yeah, it's really hard to imagine, Nima. Tumbler Ridge has a population of just over 2,000, and it's over an hour's drive to the nearest municipalities of Dawson's Creek and Chetwynd. This is a town where everybody knows everybody. So when something like this happens, the whole town is impacted. As active shooter situation went in place, the main road leading up to the school was immediately blocked off by police. And local residents reported seeing a massive police presence in the area, including police helicopters. I did speak with a business located not too far away from the high school who described the chaos that went down.
Obviously, there was a lot of distraught parents who were trying to make their way to the school. A lot of people standing around in shock, trying to figure out what was going on. It's an incredibly small town. It's very close-knit. Yeah, that kind of activity doesn't happen here very often. Like, it's the kind of town that if you hear the ambulance, start up, everyone perks up because, you just want to know what's going on, and you worry about the people that you know, because everyone here knows each other. It seemed like they were letting out the students in small groups. They were being escorted by adults, RCMP, whoever, over to the community center. It was, as far as I could see, very orderly and well organized. Obviously, the students looked in shock. I talked to a lot of parents who are obviously in shock. And this is going to be something that is going to deeply affect our community for a long time.
Now, as this was all happening, a local reporter in Tumbler Ridge was on the ground live streaming updates to the people on Facebook. City News had a chance to chat briefly with him about what he witnessed and how he feels as a resident.
I grabbed my camera, I drove down there, and the roads to the school were blocked off. So I was like, okay, well, I'm going to start live streaming with my phone. And in the process of grabbing my phone, a bunch of RCMP came in from out of town, probably from Chetwynd. My daughter works at the YMCA daycare, and they were sheltering in place along with the Tumbler Ridge Elementary School. And the students from the Tumbler Ridge Secondary School, which is where the shooting happened, they had been moved to the community center, but they were they're sheltering there. And I got a note from my daughter saying that they were being allowed to leave. To actually have something happen like this is just mind blowing. Like I don't know how to. The only way I'm processing it is because I'm processing it through while I wear my news journalist hat.
It's shocking to hear the details, Cecilia. Now, I know we did get some updates from police. What did they tell us about the suspect and their connection to the victims?
Well, Nima, the police are remaining tight-lipped and proceeding with caution when it comes to releasing the identity of the suspect and all of the victims. We also don't know a possible motive behind this massacre, the suspect's relation to the school and to the 2 other victims found in a home. Now, in that emergency alert that was sent out to residents, the suspect was described as a female in a dress with brown hair. This investigation is ongoing. The police are still in the process of alerting family and next of kin. But Nima, we know it will be a sleepless night for many in Tumbler Ridge.
Absolutely, Cecilia. Thank you so much for that update. All right. Well, now, meanwhile, Prime Minister Mark Carney also released a statement following the tragedy saying, quote, "I am devastated by today's horrific shootings in Tumbler Ridge, BC. My prayers and deepest condolences are with the families and friends of those who have lost loved ones to these horrific acts of violence. I join Canadians in grieving with those whose lives have been changed irreversibly today and in gratitude for the courage and selflessness of the first responders who risked their lives to protect their fellow citizens. Our ability to come together in crisis is the best of our country, our empathy, our unity, and our compassion for each other. I have connected with Premier David Eby to express my condolences and with the Minister of Public Safety, Gary Anandasangari, who is coordinating the federal response. Our officials are in close contact with their counterparts to ensure the community is fully supported as best we can. The Government of Canada stands with all British Columbians as they confront this horrible tragedy. All right, well, meanwhile, we are hearing multiple patients are in hospital receiving emergency treatment following this mass shooting. Our Kurt Black joins us now from outside BC Children's Hospital. And Kurt, we're hearing reports that at least 1 child is receiving emergency care there. What can you tell us?
Yeah, thanks, Nima. We have heard we're outside. It is quiet outside of BC Children's Hospital currently, but inside we have learned that a young girl is currently in the fight for her life following today's mass shooting. Speaking to the family of 12-year-old Maya Gabala, her aunt, Krista Hunt, has told us that she was one of the victims and actually had a shrapnel injury to both her neck and her head and was one of 2 victims that were air medevaced here to Vancouver in critical condition. Here's what her aunt had to say just moments ago.
I got a phone call this afternoon from my grandparents that there was a shooting at my cousin's daughter's school. And we didn't really know what was happening there because there was a lot of commotion. All that we knew is that it was having to be told later where everyone was going, what was happening. And then we got word that she was hit, and one of the shrapnels went in her neck and in her head. And she was airlifted from Tumbler Ridge to Vancouver Children's Hospital. And that's where she remains now, in critical care. So we are just waiting to hear what the status is.
Really awful story there, and a GoFundMe page has been set up to support the family. As for the 25 other victims that did not suffer life-threatening injuries, they were treated for and triaged at local medical centers up in Tumbler Ridge, and they as for medical supports, we know that physical injuries aren't the only thing here. A lot of people saw some horrific things today, and Premier David Eby mentioned that medical supports will be on hand for not just the victims and their families, but also first responders that likely saw something today that they have never seen in their career. Nima, back to you.
Absolutely heartbreaking, Kurt. Our thoughts with Maya and her family, and as well as the other victims. Thanks for that. Premier David Eby and Public Safety Minister Nina Krieger held a press conference regarding the tragedy in Tumbler Ridge, BC today. Here's what they had to say.
Good evening, everybody. Thanks for joining us. Like you, I am just learning about the horror of the tragedy that unfolded in Tumbler Ridge this evening over the course of the day. This is a devastating and unimaginable tragedy. We can't imagine what the community is going through, but I know it's causing us all to hug our kids a little bit tighter tonight. I'm just out of an update with RCMP leadership, Dwayne McDonald. I want to thank him for being available this evening, and a conversation with the Prime Minister about this terrible tragedy. Here's the latest information that we have. I understand that there are 10 people in total who are dead, 2 different sites. 8 of the people who died as a result of the shootings were at the school, including an individual we understand is the suspected shooter, who is believed to have died of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. There are about 25 people who have been triaged by health authorities with various physical injuries, some profoundly serious, and some more minor injuries. Right now, information is very limited as police do their work, and the RCMP has asked for patience as they work through methodically to ensure that they are supporting families and getting to the bottom of what happened today. I'd like to take this opportunity to ask British Columbians, to ask all Canadians, to wrap the people of Tumbler Ridge, wrap these families with love. Not just tonight, but tomorrow and into the future. This is something that will reverberate for years to come. As British Columbians, I know that one of the things we do best is look after each other, and I'm asking British Columbians to look after the people of Tumbler Ridge tonight. For our government's role, we'll make sure that the resources are there for the community. They're already being deployed on the site, and I'd like to ask the Public Safety Minister to provide you an update on what's happening in the community to provide support right now. Minister.
Thank you, Premier. While the RCMP emergency alert has been lifted, the people of Tumbler Ridge remain in a state of crisis following one of the worst mass shootings in our province's and country's history. This is a devastating day for a close-knit community, and the loss being felt is profound. There are truly no words that can adequately describe the pain being carried tonight by parents, families, and loved ones of the victims. British Columbians and people across the country are standing with the Tumbler Ridge community tonight. I would like to thank the RCMP officers who were on the scene within 2 minutes of receiving the call. That speed and professionalism saved lives today. I would also like to thank paramedics, firefighters, healthcare workers, victim services staff, and all first responders who acted immediately to support this community in an unimaginably horrific moment. This is only the beginning for so many who have families who have been impacted by today's tragic events. The shockwaves of this horrific event will continue to reverberate through the community and throughout the country for some time. Education Ministry staff have been in continued contact with the school district today, and we are actively mobilizing trauma and crisis response supports. We are sending trauma-informed counselors to the region to support kids and their families during this time. The school district will be making supports available, and once we have locations for where these supports will be, the district will share that information on social media. And we will be making sure services are available to members of the broader community who need it as well. There is a psychiatric liaison nurse working in the community right now, and another starting tonight at 10 p.m. who will be working through the night on the ground in Tumbler Ridge. So already tonight there is help available now, with more to come. People can contact 310 Mental Health Support at 310-6789 for support and mental health services. The Kids Help Phone offers professional counseling, information, and referrals to young people. And people can reach out by texting CONNECT to 686-868. Young people can also use the Foundry app to get connected to mental health supports. I have spoken throughout the day with the mayor of Tumbler Ridge and the local MLA and MP. We are united and in constant communication. I've also spoken to the Federal Minister of Public Safety, and we will be working together to ensure that the RCMP have every resource that they need. As a mother, I'm holding the families who lost loved ones close in my heart, as well as the many of those injured. For their families, the nightmare has not yet ended. We will stand with the community in the days and weeks and months ahead with compassion, with action, and with a commitment to supporting healing for as long as it takes.
And police in northern BC also spoke of the tragic mass shooting. Here's some of what they had to say.
BC RCMP Major Crimes has assumed conduct of the investigation and is working to determine the full circumstances surrounding this incident. We are not in a place now to be able to understand why and what may have motivated this tragedy. This was a rapidly evolving and dynamic situation, and the swift cooperation from the school, first responders, and the community played a critical role in our response. Our thoughts are with the families, loved ones, and all those impacted by this tragic incident. This has been an incredibly difficult and emotional day for our community, and we are grateful for the cooperation shown as officers continue their work to advance the investigation. I'd like to personally take a few minutes to recognize our community, our provincial leaders, our emergency services partners, and our communities across the north, as well as our partners who conduct businesses in our communities. I've connected with many of you, the RCMP, members involved, our families, and our communities are truly grateful and appreciative of your efforts to support us, your thoughts and your prayers that you have sent me. I know you and all of our communities across British Columbia have many more questions. We are committed to providing more information and providing answers to you in the coming days ahead. I can now take a few questions. CBC News verified. Yeah, go ahead, CBC News.
What can you tell us about the shooter at this stage?
We're still trying to determine a lot about the shooter at this stage right now. We believe we've been able to identify the shooter, but for privacy reasons and obviously for the conduct of the investigation, we're not releasing that information at that time until we're assured that we've connected with the appropriate people and identified things.
And as a follow-up, can you tell us about where the victims were found? Is this inside the school? What can you tell us about the injured and the deceased?
Yeah, multiple injuries and multiple deceased were inside the school as officers progressed through the scene, locating them and triaging those events. We also located 2 deceased at another scene. Tim Perry, please.
Yes, thank you. Can you tell us, do you know how many of the deceased are children, how many are adults, and do you know how the other residence was connected?
Yeah, we're still working towards that. As I mentioned, Major Crimes from the RCMP Provincial Major Crimes Program is on scene to add further detail to that. I think it would be unwise of me to speculate on some of that information right now, and we will have answers to that in the coming days to be able to provide everyone who's got questions about the nature of the injuries, the nature of the persons involved, and what was done at the scene and after the scene to try and answer those questions for you.